Welcome, everybody. This is Coach D. Durrell Spears here once again. We're bringing another great video, another great interview that's coming aboard. I have a lady by the name of Miss Liz that I'm going to interview today. We're going to discuss dating. We're going to discuss relationships. We're going to discuss love and everything else that encompasses that. Um, today, we're going to do another episode of my dating life. Again, we're going to talk to Ms. Liz. Ms. Liz is located in Dallas, Texas, and she's going to kind of tell us a little bit about herself, things that are going on, issues that she's experienced, the good, the bad, what have you. And so I'm going to go ahead and bring her aboard. How you doing, Miss Liz? How you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. I'm happy for you to be here. So, Miss Liz, everybody from the channel and in the sector, in the dating sector, they want to know who is Miss Liz Peterson. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm Liz Peterson, and I am 30 years old. I just turned 30 on Wednesday.
Okay.
I'm a single mom to a 2-year-old.
Okay.
I have been a single mom for a little over a year, and I'm a truck driver.
Oh wow, truck driver. That's unique. I mean, there's a lot of truck drivers that are part of the sector that I'm in, and they men and women. There is a truck driver sector actually on YouTube. There are people that do content as truck drivers. So that's very interesting. So you're on the road a lot.
Well, I'm local now since I had a kid, so I'm
Okay.
local.
So how many hours do you basically work?
10, at least 10, sometimes 14.
A day?
Yeah, a day.
Okay. So being that that's the case, at this point, working that kind of schedule, and you do have a child. So
hmm
how can you fit in dating? How does the dating aspect of things factor into your life at this point?
Well, I like to schedule my dates on the days that he's with his father.
Okay. So like is that usually like on the weekend? Are you doing certain days rotating or like what how does that usually work for you?
On the weekends.
Okay. Okay. So you're pretty much open to date on the weekends.
Right.
Okay. All right. So, Miss Liz, talk to me about dating. What are you experiencing right now as a attractive 30-year-old black woman in Dallas, Texas? What does that feel like right
It sucks.
now? Okay, tell me what makes it suck. What's going on?
I don't know. I just run into people who can't commit. So I've been in 3 serious relationships my whole life.
Okay.
And it all boils down, well, the first 2 couldn't commit. The third one, he just which is my child father, happened to be the one that, I have to work with, which is
Okay.
fine. We work really good parenting, co-parenting.
Okay.
But relationship wise, it was the worst relationship I ever been in my life.
Okay. That's the worst relationship, but you had a baby with them.
I know that's the suck part. I'm like, it just sucks, but it's life. Well, that's when I found out because I used to think life was a fairy tale, but now I know life is not a fairy tale. I don't know
So
why this had to happen for me to realize life is not a fairy tale, but I don't know why I always believed in, good guy finishing last. Like,
okay. So you said something very interesting. Good guys finishing last. So I'm thinking you're assuming the bad boys finish first.
at this point, I feel like I don't even know, to be honest. I guess I'm kind of just confused.
You're confused.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it just like I always thought he was well, he's still a decent guy. He's not a bad guy. It's just
Okay.
we don't have the same views in life. But up until he actually so we have been single, and I have been wondering what happened, like what went wrong. And then last year, not last year, but on my birthday is when he laid it on me, basically,
He
or
laid
whatever.
what on you on his birthday that he didn't want to be with you anymore?
No, we had already. I've been single for a year now, going over a year. I've been single, so he had already left. But it just was always, I just always was wondering what went wrong,
Okay.
And then, like on the birthday, it was like right. It was the day before. Was it the day before? It was around my birthday. Is when he was telling me that. So he had these girls, and he always was saying they was his sisters. And even though it's like I always knew, like it could be a possibility that they weren't his sisters or whatever. And I mean, it's like you always had a doubt in the back of your mind that something could possibly going on or whatever between them. And he just would always say, "Oh, you're being insecure. They just my friends. They're just my friends." And
Okay.
then right before my birthday, he wanted to let me know that he had been with one of the women 25 years ago, and the other woman that be around is was her friend.
Okay. It sounds like he was an older guy.
Yeah, he's an older guy. He's 51.
Okay, so you were like 20 something with a 50-year-old man.
Right.
So what? So kind of talk to me about how was that compatible? Like what was the compatibility between the two of you? Because to me, when I'm hearing a 50-year-old man with a 25, he just looking for a hot piece of meat to get with, and everything else just kind of trickles down. So I mean, so where was the compatibility with that?
Well, see, that's what I've been saying too. So when I date younger guys, it's no compatibility because you know what I'm saying. I own properties, businesses. It was never so when I date younger guys, when I talk to them, I don't. I feel like I have nothing in common. Like they talk about stuff that I don't want to talk about. I want to talk about
But
the
what about the
business,
older? What about the
marketing.
older guy? Because you said the older guy was the worst relationship you ever
Right.
was
So the
involved
older
in. So,
guy, which is my child father, he was a business guy. So I
okay,
thought, when we first got into a relationship, it wasn't, oh, we're dating. It was friendship. I felt like maybe he could teach me something since he did business, and I'm thinking like, maybe he could help me more with marketing or something like that. So it
okay,
became a friendship
okay,
in the beginning, and then it led to more.
okay. So, were you attracted to him initially, or you just thought it was just going to be a platonic professional relationship?
I thought he was cute, but I didn't think it was gonna go further than what it did. But it
Okay,
did.
okay. So we're going to piggyback on that a little bit, but I want to kind of talk about you typically dating throughout your life. Okay.
Right. It
So as
always
a
sucked.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this always sucked.
Okay. So did you always date older guys?
Yeah, they always been older, but this so the one before that, they was the same age, 50. So the one before him was 50, and he didn't want to commit until after I left. So once I left, then he wanted to commit, but then I'm like, I don't want you no more.
But as I'm hearing this, the guys that you dated actually are consistent with how a lot of younger guys act, not wanting to commit, doing a lot of things. I'm hearing some of the
Right.
similarities between older guys, but this is a deeper thing that I like to touch on because you earlier talked about the fact that he showed certain behaviors, but it sounds like you overlooked those behaviors, and it's
Yeah,
like you were having wishful thinking.
and I kind of knew it's like so me personally, this is what I told him. I don't date guys who have girlfriends unless if that's a girl and she your friend. I don't date guys like that. And he's like, oh, that's not my girlfriend. This is my sister. We were raised together. He just was making it seem like they were just raised together. And I have a cousin that I was raised with too. I was raised with other people too that ain't my cousins, but I'm calling them my cousins, but I was raised with them. So I was thinking that, well, maybe his relationship is like how my relationship is with them. They're just family.
But did you do your due diligence to seek the truth? So
Yeah.
you accepted the blanket statements as being truthful, even though there was a level of suspicion.
Yeah. So, but then, so, me and him got into it about one of the girls before. And so me and his mom was talking and she had brought it up or whatever. And she was like, "Oh," those are just his sisters. They were raised together. They've been friends for 25
So she
years.
was lying. She basically was lying for him.
Well, I'm not gonna say she lied for him, maybe
Well, she
because
didn't tell the truth. If you didn't tell the truth, you lied. So exactly what he.
or maybe she didn't know that they had did that.
Well, she would have known whether or not they were just friends growing up or not. I think a mother would know her son actually, hanging out or being friends with somebody or he was dating. She would know something about
But
that.
I ain't trying to blame nobody, mama. But I know me
I
as a
mean, the
mama.
truth is the truth. Mamas lie for their sons all the time. That's not
Well,
that's nothing new in our community.
that's messed up because I'm not lying for my son. Like,
Well, a lot of mothers lie for their sons all the time. That's highly prevalent in the black community. But nevertheless, let's kind of talk about so the first you said you had three serious relationships and they all were older guys.
one of them he was older, but he was like 10 years older.
That's a lot. That's still older.
Okay, well, so he was 10 years older, and he was actually the best relationship I ever had. But he just wouldn't. It's like they will commit once I leave, and it's like I don't know. That's just weird.
That's interesting. They didn't want to commit while you were there, but I guess once you left, they
Now,
realized what they had,
like
and then they want you
now
back.
they want to buy a ring and all this and that, and
So
it's
so
just like
what made you not want to reconsider once they made the decision that they wanted you back, even though you left? What basically are you finished when you're done? You're done, or is it something that caused you not to reconsider?
I just don't go back and forth. I feel like
Well,
they all had enough time to know what they had.
but sometimes they don't. That's the thing. See, we want to understand in dating. A lot of times we want our partner to look at things through the lens that we look at things. And in many situations, men and women don't always look at things the same way. Not to say he's wrong or right, but the
Mhm.
fact of the matter, if an area of communication is not opened up to discuss those misinterpretations, then it can lead to situations where a person doesn't understand what they have until after it's gone. Or the fact of the matter, you feel like I don't want to go back to the same situation to have the same end result of me leaving again. Because you just stated you don't want to go back and forth. So there's a lot of misinterpretation on both sides because of a lack of proper communication. So, kind of talk to me about your personal communication. How do you communicate with a guy?
I just talk to a guy. I think it's better to communicate talking instead of like through text or stuff because you can take text out of context. So I feel like I'm real patient with a guy. I treat everybody how I want to be treated. That's how I am. I hear you.
Okay, good. So, this is a very interesting situation that you're talking about because we're focusing at the age, you say you're at the age of 30, you've
Right.
been in three serious relationships. So, how long did each of these relationships last?
The first two was 5. The last one was um almost 3. The one with my child father was almost 3. It was the shortest one.
Okay, so you were in serious relationships pretty much what at 18 as you became an adult. Did you
Yep.
have did you have any other people that you may have dated for a short period of time in between any of those relationships?
Yeah, one guy, but that date was it was real short.
Okay, so you haven't really dated a bunch of guys. You pretty much have a very short list of guys that you have
Right.
dated. Okay, so
Right.
would you say that when it comes to dating, do you feel like you're experienced with men, or that you have enough of experience through the men that you've dated long term to effectively navigate through this in this generation of dating at this point?
No, I feel like I'm not experienced. I don't even want to be bothered with this type of dating. I don't know what they going on nowadays.
Which you want to be wiped up real quick?
So what I always believed in well, okay, so after the first 5 long relationships, I told myself I'm not doing 5 years no more. That's too long. So when I so that's what I'm saying. When me and him, we started off as friends, and so, but once we started dating, I let him know that I believe in now. After those 5 long relationships, I believe that you're single to marriage. And like I told him, if he
Right.
wants exclusive with me, which takes me off the market, and I
Right.
told him if we exclusive, you got a year. That's it. I will be exclusive for a year with you. So
Okay.
that's what happened. The year just came and I was pregnant and he was just like, I'm gonna buy a ring, I'm gonna do it. I know I said it, I'm gonna do what I said. And then, time just went by and I just didn't want to do that no more. Cause I told him, like I told him I didn't want to do it.
Okay.
I've been here
So
too long.
this is I want to kind of give you my perspective and some feedback on what you're saying.
Yes.
And I'm going to give you my perspective and I would like your feedback because what I want to do is kind of coach you through and kind of give you my perspective of how I coach and how I educate people on proper ways of dating. Because I'm the type of my platform is focusing on productive relationships, long term relationships, healthy relationships that could lead to a long term monogamous relationship, or it can lead to marriage. Okay. So I basically teach that when you're in a relationship and you're seriously wanting to be with someone, the window that I give is a from 1 year to about 2 years. Okay, 1 to 2 years. I have reinforced that I don't think that if you're serious about somebody, you want to really be with them. It doesn't take 3, 4, 5 years for you to realize you want to marry somebody. And so,
Right.
what I'm hearing from you is an example of I've given some of my best years to guys that were not serious about marrying me, and their words really didn't have any value. It's about the behavior. Okay. And their behavior showed, even though they said they would do things, their behavior showed that they were not serious. Okay.
Right.
So I teach women, particularly with women, that a lot of women fall victim to showing too much patience with men when it comes to dating like this. And you give up all of your time, all of your emotions, your love, your energy, everything to a man, and in return, he's not consistent with what you're wanting, or let's just say reciprocity as far as on both sides. Okay. So I pretty much, and I'm going to encourage you in your next relationship, you're talking about a year, which I do think a year is a good window. However, that doesn't mean I want to also caution you to somewhat show some flexibility because it may not last a year, it may last a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I think that within that 1 to 2 years, maybe even 3 years, it all depends on if a person, uh, basically proposes to you within that first or second year, and then most people usually take a year to get married once they try to get them they want to have a nice wedding or something.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I feel like you should be engaged within with a year.
Okay.
I give you a year to go get a ring. Then we can you got more time after that because we're gonna plan the wedding.
Right, right, and that's something that you would like. So my school of dating is based on you dating with a purpose or a meaning to it. Not I don't teach dating for fun. I don't
Right.
teach just messing around just to mess around. And the
Right.
reason why I don't teach that is because when people repetitively do that, they start developing bad habits. And once they meet the person that's right for them, they've developed so many bad habits that they're not good for the person that's really meant for them. So I'm about developing healthy habits, consistent habits that are relative and consistent to someone wanting to be with you in a stable environment, stable relationship, long term. So I'm going to encourage you to do what I call self inventory. And the self inventory is based on you identifying your flaws, mistakes that you have made in relationships, irregardless of what the guy did, but what you personally need to improve on. And before you connect with another guy, you improve upon yourself to give that guy the best version of who you are. Therefore, you will attract a better person that is actually compatible to what you're giving out to the universe. Okay.
Yeah, that's
So
why I took a year off of dating and I just worked on self care and self love and just being a new
okay.
mom.
Okay, now I'm gonna say this. It's nothing wrong with taking time off, but I caution people with taking time off to a certain extent, and I'm gonna
Yeah,
give you the reason why.
yeah, because maybe I took too far off. Because I'm
Now,
like now.
the reason why I'm saying that, and I understand some people, particularly if you were in a traumatic relationship or a abusive relationship or something that went terribly wrong, where you basically want to make sure you're mentally okay until the next relationship, you got to have time to heal. But I want to caution that when you're doing that, you may encounter that person that's right for you, but because you that's why when I talk about things, I always look at flexibility, being able to be fluid with what you're saying and not be so stringent upon a certain time frame, a certain behavior, certain way of doing things. Because when you're in a relationship, it doesn't work like that. You have to work with someone else. You can't just be about what you want and not be about working together with somebody else. Okay.
Yeah.
So I do like the fact that you are looking at a year. So that means a year of serious dating. Okay, that means consistent communication,
Mm-hmm.
consistent dating, consistent interaction with one another, bonding, things of that sort, doing a lot of non-sexual activities of getting to know each other. Why are you smiling when I said that? Why'd you make that face when I said non-sexual activities?
No, I'm okay. I'm good with that.
Okay. So the reason why I'm stating that because those are the things that will contribute to a building a strong foundation in a relationship. Those things will actually contribute to that, and so that's what I'm pretty much reinforcing to you. Now, at this point, you have not been with this guy, your baby's father, for how long? How long have you not been with him?
Just over a year. I don't even know.
Okay.
I just know it's been over a year.
And so how long have you been trying to get back into the dating game?
Just really the beginning of this year. I'm trying to
Oh,
date.
you just getting back in 2023. You just starting. Hey, it's time for me to get back in the game. So you haven't given yourself a lot of time. It sounds like you're looking for a quick, you know, home run or something. Like you got
No,
you got.
quick, but I am looking for at least conversation. I don't know. I meet a guy. Like I just met a guy on my birthday. I thought he
Okay,
was really handsome. I'm like, oh my god, how are you even single up at a place? Like
okay.
you should be single. No, I'm just kidding. But he was
Well,
a
I mean,
nice.
if that's what you like, that's what you like.
He was a nice guy, and you know what? To be honest, this is the second time this has happened, and I could be too hard on guys, but I don't feel like I am. Like
well,
so on
well,
Valentine's Day, he was supposed to take me out. We had the time and everything scheduled. Then he like, oh, something came up. He got to push it back or something, and I block guys for that. You blocked. Like if you can't be on time the first date, and it's the second guy that I didn't try to date, and he
he blocked you. He flaked on you.
talking about some. So okay, the first guy, I actually let him still come because he was gonna help. He detailed cars, so he was like, I want to detail your
Are you
car.
there?
Yeah, I'm here. You hear me? Hello? Oh, we're breaking up. I don't know why. I don't know why we're breaking up. Why are we breaking up?
I'm sorry. Can you? Are you there? Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you. I don't know what happened.
I don't know. Something's. Give me 1 second. It's your picture is out. Let me
Yeah. Hold on.
give me 1 second. Your camera is not showing you anymore. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Now I missed everything you said as opposed to the last guy. You said you end up going on a date with him, but something
Right. So,
happened.
yeah, I met a guy in January,
Okay.
and so he was a nice guy too. They was both to me nice guys, and he was a single father too. So I'm like, okay, he a single father and everything. But I actually gave him two chances.
Okay.
The first date he was late, but I still let him continue to come, and he cleaned
Okay.
my car and he took me out to dinner. It was
He
really
cleaned your
nice.
car and took you out to dinner. Okay. That was
Look,
nice.
look, I was so happy about that. He detailed the mess out of my car.
Okay.
Yeah, because it ain't like my car is dirty or nothing, but he has a detailing car service. And he
Okay.
was like, I don't know, he was just bragging so much. And I said, if you bragging, how about you do mine? Because I actually pay somebody to detail my car. He was like, if you my woman, you ain't gonna never have to pay nobody. Matter of fact, I'm gonna detail your car on the first date. I said,
Okay.
okay. So we met up at the car place. He detailed my car and then he took me out to dinner. And I was good, even though he was late.
Okay.
So that made me upset, but I'm like, okay, nobody perfect. He did call and tell me he was gonna be late.
Okay.
Even though it didn't sit right with me. The second time, the same thing. He talking about he gonna be an hour late. So I told him, I'm sorry, I gotta let you go. Like this not gonna work for me. So I
Okay.
let
So time is very important to you. Being on time and punctual. Punctuality is very important.
yeah.
Okay. Now I'm gonna say this, and I want you to hear me out. Okay. Now, um, I can understand the first time. I think that maybe you didn't give the guy a second chance, but I do feel like in any situation, someone can be late for something. And now, if you're routinely late, habitually late, that could be a problem. But when you basically X somebody out because of a mistake, that can be problematic because people are going to make mistakes. And I talk to people all the time about. I mean, I understand that certain mistakes have more value than others,
Here's the
but
big my thing is
but
this
but,
is
but people are going to make mistakes in relationships. No matter what, people are going to make mistakes in relationships. They're going to make mistakes in marriages. They're going to make mistakes where you engage. And so a lot of people want a perfect situation where there's no flaws or there's no mistakes when that is unrealistic.
but I guess it kind of bothers me because like when I did events for my business or whatever, and I used to trust people to do stuff for me. Now I
But,
will
but, but,
pay.
but, but we're not talking about business. We're talking about relationships and dating.
Well,
That's a different
it
scenario. I,
it bothers me.
I'm not saying it shouldn't bother you because that sounds like it's
Dude,
one of
it's
your
like a
pet
big
peeves.
like I can't look past cheating, and I can't look past. I basically feel not important if you can't make it on the time that you said. First of all, he the one said the time. Fuck.
Well, I'm going to say consider. Let's say you're supposed to have a date at 8 o'clock, and the person lets you know. I think that some out of respect, if someone lets you know they're going to be late because of various reasons, I think that's being honest and it's being respectful. Like if I tell you I'm going to be 30 minutes late, way ahead of time, or we're going to have to push this farther. I mean, because those things happen in dating. You're not going to have a situation where you're dating someone, let's say 3-4 times a month, and every time they're exactly on time or they're not going to be 10, 15, 20 minutes late. That's going to happen sometime. And
I
that
mean,
may be, you
but
know,
on the first 2 dates, I'm not that
well,
important for
no,
you
no,
to
no,
know.
no, 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 no. Listen, that's not what I'm saying. Listen to me. Listen to me. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm stating is being mindful of people making mistakes in the early part. Now, listen, if your standard is punctuality is highly valued, and the first 2 dates he's an hour late, which to me is over and above. I understand you doing that, but I'm talking about moving forward. If someone happens to be late 20, 30 minutes, or
Oh
let's
yeah,
say but I do think 2 dates and you're an hour late. I think that is a bit too much. But you did say the second guy, he was late and you just blocked him.
oh yeah, it was over. I went to
Yeah,
bed.
see, again, that was a bit.
But
I know you.
why he said he was late though? Come
Okay,
on,
go ahead.
reason why. See, the other guy had good reasons.
So why was he late?
First reason, he was helping his dad. I heard his dad in the background. I'm like, okay, he helping pops. You help your pops, and you come take care of my car and me. Okay.
Okay, so why was he late?
But the one on Valentine's Day, first of
Yes.
all, oh my goodness, he gonna talk about he late because he about to go over his homeboy's house and gamble.
Okay. And so you
Yeah,
said forget it. If I'm not priority, then I need to just not date you. That's pretty much what you
yeah.
said.
Like
Okay.
I feel like, and to be honest, I kind of felt like he did that to get out anyway because after talking to me, I felt like he knew he just
Wasn't interested.
right. It's not gonna work.
What do you think about yourself that may turn a guy off? What do you think you may have stated that he didn't like?
Well, first of all, I think he lived in like a different part of Dallas that I told him I never been in because I never been in there. And then he was like, "Wow, you live far, McKinney."
Yeah,
I,
that well, McKinney is in the outskirts. I mean, it is North Dallas. So, but he already knew that. So it's not like that's new news.
no, he didn't know. I met him on my birthday. We didn't know nothing about each other. We just exchanged numbers,
But
and then
but but he had
we
to know. But to go on a date, you mean you set up a date without knowing anything about each other?
no, I'm saying we've been texting, but he never knew where I lived.
Okay, the area. Okay.
Right. We have been texting, we were talking, he ain't got no kids. And then I was thinking too, this is actually at first I was like, man, maybe he's too young. But then I was
How
thinking
old was he?
he was 29.
Okay, he's the same age as you. He's just a year
I never
younger.
dated a 29-year-old. So I was really willing to give it a try. But when he said that he about to go gamble at his friend's house, I said, see, this is why I never dated young. Oh my God. I just
Let me. I'm gonna give you an observation, Liz. I don't think age is as important. I think it's not necessarily about the age; it's about the maturity level and where that person is. And I know you're probably more comfortable with older guys because that's what you tend to date. But I'm gonna encourage you to maybe not allow. I'm not saying that age isn't important because women typically like to date guys that are older than them. So I understand that. But I'm going to say focus more on other personal attributes and values besides just the fact that a person is maybe 10, 15, 20 years older than you.
oh no,
um
when I every time I go date, I don't date for age because age don't define you.
well
But
but you
so
stated
happened
but
guys
you
I was compatible with was older.
but you stated you prefer older guys. You stated that earlier that older guys are,
I was always compatible with them. I never met a young guy that I don't know. We just don't click. They be
okay.
wanting to do stuff that I want to. I love traveling.
I
Um,
want you to
I
focus
like
on what works for you.
and
Whatever works for you works for you. I'm not going to tell you if you don't if you prefer dating older guys, but
no,
I'm
I prefer
but
it
the
if I find a young guy who maybe have a business too, and like we
well
can talk
well
about that and go
well
to.
well
And,
what about a guy that is not, because my thing is he doesn't necessarily my thing is a business doesn't make a good boyfriend, doesn't make a good mate.
but I like that though. It'd
I
be
mean,
nice.
I mean, but a person can be successful without having a business. Now, I do
What
understand because
trying to go gamble. He can go to the casino. He wanted to gamble. You about to go over somebody's house and shoot dice or something? I don't know what he called gambling with his homeboys. I don't know.
well, what I'm going to say is this: what I'm
Mm.
proposing is that I would encourage you to look at the 5 to 10 age range, years older than you. Let's say you're 35. I'm gonna say 35 to 45. I think that may be a good spot for you in that age instead of, because to me when you're talking 50 and older, you're talking
Yeah,
about definitely, that's older,
but that's
just a
what I'm
definitely
saying.
older
When I met
generation.
the guy, I didn't know he was.
Generation, you know what I'm saying?
When I met him, I didn't. So the first one, I didn't. Well, so both of those guys. When I met them, they don't look 50. I didn't know they was 50. I thought they was in their 30s because
Okay.
they so young
They look
looking.
they look good for their age.
Look really, I'm telling you, even when I tell people that my child father is 51 and they just seen him before, they say, girl, you lying, you are lying. I'm like, I am not lying. They
Okay.
said, you sure he
So
look 39 or
so
35, 35 to 39.
so I want to kind of pivot a little bit away from the age thing, and I do get because that is something that you experience. So I want at this point for Liz to convey to everybody that's listening, what does Liz want out of a relationship? What does Liz bring to the table as far as making someone happy that would date her? Could you talk to us about that? What does Liz have to offer that a man would want and definitely want to be with you?
Okay. Well, what I want from a relationship, I want somebody who, like me, patient, kind, and caring. Somebody who hardworking, like me. He don't have to have a business if he don't. I
Okay.
work. Just long as he's able to bring home some paper.
Basically make a certain amount of money.
Just long as it can cover the bills.
Okay, let me stop you right there. Okay. Okay, so what kind of like around what type of money, what bracket are you in pretty much? Are you making above six figures, 75, 100,000? Where are you at?
No,
And
right at six figures.
you're almost at six figures. So what is a starting point for you? Like say for instance, let's say he doesn't make six figures. What's the lowest you're willing to go as far as what a man makes based on you earning close to six figures?
I don't know because I never dated a man for money.
I'm not asking you to date a man for money, but you want to you live a certain level of lifestyle. You want to have a man you just stated that can pay bills, that can be able to afford to pay certain bills. So
Right.
with that, there has to be a certain threshold that you're looking at. Like, are you willing to date a guy that makes 50, 60, 70,000, maybe 80? Like,
Yeah,
like
that's that. To
be
me, that's
specific.
I can do 60, 50, 60. It's not too bad. I mean, my income and his income, it'll be good. But the only thing is, normally when you date a man with lesser income than you, they don't be happy with that. I think that's another thing too. Um, when I used to date younger guys, like I started my home healthcare business in college, and so
Okay.
I was busy doing that. And I don't know, guys. I don't know. Younger guys, it just didn't work out.
Okay. Well, they could be older guys that make lists too. So it
Oh
could
yeah,
could be
yeah.
older guys make lists too. So your threshold is about 56, about 55, 60,000 per se.
Yeah. I just
Okay.
want somebody that can make me happy and that can be an honest person. Somebody who's God fearing. Um, so he gotta be God fearing. That's number one for me.
Okay. So what does it take to make you happy?
Not much. I just like simple stuff. So like when I'm in a relationship, I normally do all the house clean cooking and cleaning and stuff like that, which I'm fine with that. All my relationships I have done all that. But it'd be nice, if I had a guy who, well, my child father, he did used to help clean up sometimes. So I thought that was nice, which it was different from my last two relationships because I did all the cooking and cleaning. So it was nice that he would help clean up sometimes. He didn't cook at all, but he would bring dinner home 2 times a week, which to me, I guess I love everything. That was nice to me. So I
Okay.
don't feel like I want much. I just want somebody who I can be myself around because I'm goofy at times, and I want somebody who can accept me for being who I am because I'm accept them for who they are.
Okay. So I hear what you're saying, but I gotta dig a little deeper because see, this is the issue that I come across. I mean,
Mhm.
a lot of women talk about I don't. You just stated like I don't want much. I want this and that, but we're talking surface stuff. So I'm going to ask you some questions to kind of touch
Okay.
a little bit deeper in what you want because you can say that that's all great, but you know just as well as anybody know when you're in a relationship, the expectations are deeper than that or bigger than that. So I'm going to throw out some questions to kind of to get you to kind of define a little bit further. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you did talk about religion. So I guess they have to have a certain value system. So they have to have a strong belief in God.
Right.
Now, does that mean that they got to go to church with you every Sunday?
It don't have to be every Sunday, but yeah, I want to go to church. No,
Okay.
they got Saturday.
And does that mean that he has to be the same denomination as you?
I'm not
Or
a nation, so
it
no.
doesn't matter? Okay.
Right, I'm
Okay.
not a nation.
So talk to me about how you want this person. What does communication look like? between you two? What do you think is effective communication?
And we like me and my partners, we used to always talk all the time. We will, talk in the morning, and then we'll talk on the lunch break. And sometimes I will go bring my guy lunch and have lunch with him.
Okay,
And
that's
then
nice.
always love to, I don't know. It's like, so when I'm dating someone, it's like I get wrapped up in their lives. Like I want to know what happened at work, like what that coworkers. It's like, but when I'm dating someone, I know all their coworkers, I know all the stuff. I want to know everything when they get home.
Now that can become a bit invasive for someone, like depending on how long you've known them, to know every integral aspect. That some guys could be scared off at that.
Yeah, yeah, because with all my partners, we used to always talk about this and that happened at work. Because I be telling them well, nothing really happened at work with me, but but still, I guess that's where I get my thrill from them or
Okay,
whatever.
so talk to me about, as far as the relationship itself. How do you resolve problems?
Oh, I like to sit down and talk about them. And if so, I don't argue either. So if we ever get like heated, I like for us to go ahead and let it rest. We could talk about it again another time if we get the arguing. But
Okay,
like my past partners, well, the first one, of course, I argued with. I was young and dumb for real. But the other two we never argued. So me and my child father, we never argued. So we would sit down and talk about something. Once it get real heated, once we start like you talking over me, I'm talking over you, we can't hear each other. So then
okay,
I like to just, you know what? Let's talk about this later. Let's calm down or whatever.
okay.
So that's how I am. I don't want to argue. And
Are you a person that do you consider yourself very affectionate? Do you want your man to be very affectionate? How do you what do you consider affection? How do you like it to be displayed?
so I'm affectionate. I like to be hugged. I like to be held. I just like to feel secure.
Okay. Okay. And so how do you want your husband, how do you want this guy to, like, to display that to you? Like, what is your language? Like, what does he have to do to make you feel that way?
So okay, so in public, I like when they hold my hand. I'm not gonna make the guy hold my hand, but my exes used to hold my hand, or always put me on the right side, not on the side of the street. I like this
Okay.
side of the street. Like I'm gonna get hit by the car first. You gotta put me on the other side. So, and I love like so my exes always open the car doors. All my exes open them car doors for me, close the car door for me.
You
All
want a
that
gentleman.
stuff I
You want a
love.
consummate gentleman, right?
Yes, that to me is the affection I like. Now,
Okay.
so in the beginning with my ex, we used to cuddle all the time, every night. But of course, as time go by, he like, I do not want to cuddle, which I was fine with that. So cuddling every now and then, I
But
love
were
to.
you really fine with that because you like
No,
cuddling?
I was a little upset. I'm not gonna lie,
Okay.
but I was willing to compromise because you can't always get what you want. And to me, he was good at everything else. Even though, yeah, that's why I was telling him, how you gonna cuddle with me in the beginning every night? Then all of a sudden you don't cuddle. Like I just feel like when you go into a relationship, be who you are going to be throughout the whole relationship.
So it
Don't
sounds
go
like sounds
like
like you thought that he was kind of faking it a little bit, and then he finally just said enough.
he was faking it, and he said enough is enough. I'm not
Hmm. You
every night.
sound you sound like you were very disappointed at that.
I was because I mean I need love.
You need love. You need loving.
I need
You need some loving. That's what you really said.
But I'm just saying, I wanted to cuddle and stuff, but he did cut that off. But
Okay.
you know,
Let's also talk about this. What about uh how do you deal with boundaries with your family and not getting in your business, his family not being, how do you deal with boundaries from other family members and friends in your relationship?
oh, my family and friends ain't got nothing to do with my relationship. So my relationship with my friends is totally separate from my relationship with my guy. Like I don't even want to discuss none of our business with them. Our friendship is totally separate. Like I love my friends though.
What about family? Is the same
Huh?
way for family?
Oh yeah. Well, okay. I might have told my brother a little something.
Okay.
And I was dead wrong, but I was in my feelings, and I apologize because I'm not always right.
Okay.
But yeah, but
Okay.
no, my family. So my family's so respectful to where they would never like, even to this day, after what happened, they still gonna respect him, and because he's my child father, and my family don't get in my business. Like, no.
Okay. Okay. So what about romantically, sexually? Have there ever like what do you what is like what do you want from your person? Or you have that has that ever been an issue with you, or what are your expectations when it comes to things like that from a sexual romantic standpoint?
Yeah, it's been issues. So
That there have been issues?
yeah. So the
Okay.
first guy wanted sex too much,
What is too much?
like 3 and 4 times a day.
Oh
He
wow, that's okay.
Right. He was I don't know what you call those people who can do that.
A nymphomaniac.
Yeah, he was too much.
Okay,
I mean,
what okay.
yeah, it's just too much. Especially after 5 years of going through that, I was drained for real. But then the second one, the sex was okay. I didn't ever have problem with the sex. And then my child father, the sex started off super good. Then it went to like once every other week. Oh
Okay.
no.
So what's your threshold like or do you need it 2 or 3 times a week or
I
once or twice a week? Like, what's you know,
need at least once a week. My thing is at least once a week. Cause once he went to that every other week, well, first I think he dropped. It's like he was slowly dropping it, okay,
right?
and then it
Well,
went.
because he was getting older, that may have been one thing. He was
That's what
50
some people
something.
say
I
too,
mean, you,
but
you, you can't you can't expect a 50-year-old. Then this is
I
my
wasn't
issue. You want
saying.
a 50-year-old to keep up with a 30-year-old. Like that's come on. That's age has its limitations at
But the
times.
last 50-year-old was going like a jackrabbit, like he
Yeah,
tried
but
to
everybody that's
go.
but that's not typical unless he had some other enhancements going on. But
I
that's
don't know what
I
he
mean
had going on, but
on average. I'm just let's just look at it from average. Time catches up with everybody.
well, I
You
feel like he should be honest about it because my thing is, it's more than one way to skin a cat. It's more than
what?
one way to get me good.
Oh, it's more than one way to get you good, huh?
Right, just one or the other. You don't. It's more than one way to do something. So if he
Okay.
would have communicated that with me, I would have
So
been
so
fine.
you communicated that.
I said if he would have, like I told him, he was like, "Well, what did he say? I don't know. He just always make up an excuse. It's always
Well,
a
let me ask you this: do you think, as far as you from a sexual
oh." He said
standpoint,
that's what he kept saying.
particularly for you for on a sexual standpoint, are you pretty open, or you got a lot of limitations? Do you feel like you're very liberal when it comes to sex? Like, what do you you kind of looking around?
I'm thinking so when it comes down to sex. So okay, if we're not married, I'm not gonna do a lot of stuff with you because some stuff I want to do with my husband. So I ain't doing no backdoor stuff. I ain't doing I think that's basically I'm not doing no backdoor stuff and no like real nasty stuff. Like some guys required a lot of nasty stuff. I'm not
So,
doing that. Now I
but
was
for
doing
your husband, but for your husband, is almost anything goes for a certain extent.
so with my
Okay,
husband, anything goes except for gay stuff. I'm never
okay. Now
girl.
let's rephrase that. Let's just say things that would be considered LGBT like. Let's put it in. I don't want to say because that can have a negative
Never
connotation when you
another
said that.
girl,
Huh?
and no girl touching on me, no none of that with my husband. I'm jealous.
Okay.
I ain't
Okay.
nobody touching my husband, and I don't want her touching on me because I don't believe in that mess.
Okay. Hey, listen, that's your values. That's
Right,
how you look at things. You have a right. Everybody has their own limitations, and it's good to communicate those so that he understands that and don't ask you to do something that you're not willing to do.
right. I tell them that. I tell anybody that right up front. Like I'm not gonna do a lot of stuff with you. You're not my husband. Now, if that's a problem, then this you got a chance to leave because I'm not doing that. I want to say stuff for my husband. First of all, I used to save myself for marriage until I got older.
Hey, I get that. Sex can be a very important part. It's not the only part of the relationship, but it can be a very important part of a relationship, and having the proper communication and being, seeing each other eye to eye on what you like and what you dislike and things that is very important as far as being able to bond and be with each other long term in that sense. You have to have a healthy sexual relationship if you want to be happy. I think that's a big component. It's not the only component, but it is a big component of a relationship. Okay. Now, are there any prospective dates coming along anytime soon?
Not right now.
Okay, or so because I'm gonna tell you now, there may be some guys that's gonna be listening. They be like, "Hey, like I know the last person I interviewed, there were some guys they really liked what they saw, and I'm pretty sure when they see you, they're gonna say the same. So you may
Well,
you may you may you may have a match.
okay, well you can find me on Facebook, Liz Peterson.
She put it out there. She's on Facebook, Liz Peterson. Peterson, look her up on Facebook.
Yep.
Liz, I want to let you know that it's been a pleasure talking to you. You smile, you lighten up the room. You definitely have a cool personality. Um, Unfortunately, I just think that you've dated. I'm not saying that I'm not gonna say you don't have any experience because you've had long-term relationships. So I do think you it's just that you don't you I think that it's not always a bad thing to not have a lot of like multiple guys. Like some people are
Okay.
habitual daters. I'm talking about like you dated tons of guys before you find someone. You don't necessarily have to have that experience, but I do think that you've had long-term relationships that show that you do have the ability to be with someone in a stable situation. I think that's a very valuable asset that when you date, you tend to date for a long time. You're not trying to date somebody for 3 months and end it. So that's a good thing. And I think a lot of guys would appreciate that, knowing that you're someone that seriously dates and you're not just about messing around and just, for whatever good reason. So if a person is good with you, it sounds like to me you can allow it to grow for a long time and hopefully you're looking to be married.
I think so, and I feel like we could always work everything out, except for I'm not working out cheating.
You're not working out. Cheating is the thing. Like that happens,
That's
I'm
my
done.
deal breaker, right? I can work out anything in a relationship except for cheating. If
Okay.
you're cheating or the lies, like because lies and cheating, that's all the same thing to me.
Okay. So you've never been guilty of those things in a relationship.
No, I'm not gonna. No, I treat everybody how I want to be treated, and if I have to treat you less, then I won't deal with you.
Okay.
That's,
Good. Good.
I'm not gonna cheat on nobody because I wouldn't want to put nobody through that pain. It hurts.
Okay. I get it. I get it, Miss Liz. Well, guys, this is Liz Peterson again. I'm going to be posting this video up for everybody. Miss Liz is currently looking for a guy in Dallas. I guess in the Dallas area. Dallas is a nice, thriving city. I go there often for business. I have a business out there, so um, I've been in Dallas for the last since 8 years actually, since 2015. Man, time flies. So,
Yeah.
Miss Liz, any last things you want to say to just about yourself or just feedback on your experience interviewing with me and so on? Like any last words?
Um, you could also you can also find me on Instagram, Liz underscore love underscore hate.
Okay, all right. So
That's it.
everybody for being here today. Shout out to everybody that is watching right now. Please leave comments in the comments section. This is Coach D. Darrell Spears. You all have a great day.
Let's